This we call our 90-90 pigeon dynamic log roll. So essentially this exercise is to stretch the outer glutes, the posterior hip, that piriformis type of stretch that people like to do. So it's no different than your regular pigeon stretch, but we're just adding a shift and a log roll technique to it. So what we're gonna do here is I'll show you some different angles of this, but we're gonna get ourselves into that pigeon stretch. So basically in that crisscross zigzag position, right? And now from here, we're gonna think about actually picking ourselves up. So that pigeon stretch is essentially where people are into this position where their front leg is crisscrossed and where the foot is turned in. So we can stretch this outer hip here. Now, we're gonna use our hands a lot on this one, so just shift your body weight, use your hands, move them around as needed. But what we're gonna do here is you're gonna think about shifting your hip and pushing your hip out to the side as you try to drop and tap your butt towards the ground and then come back up. Again, it's nothing too specific, but as I drop, I'm pushing my hip, I'm pushing my torso back to feel a stretch on my outer hip. You might feel a stretch in the low back, and we're coming back up. And we're just dropping there, okay? You can play around with the angle of your hands. If you want to think about being more wide, you can. I think that feels the greatest if you have one hand on the inside, on the outside of your knee, the other one a little bit more towards the angle of your shoulder, and just dropping and log rolling, okay? Find the best position, the best stretch that you can feel to the front outer hip. And I want you breathing, inhale, exhale. Okay, so again, I'll show you again. So I'm in that zigzag position. I'm gonna put one hand on the outside of my knee, one hand on the outside of my shoulder. I'm gonna pick myself up. And again, I'm just gonna drop my hip towards the ground, feeling a stretch on that bottom hip, and coming back over. As you drop, pause for 1 full second, pause for 1 full second, and come back over. That's what we call our dynamic 99.